First thing I want to talk to you guys about is Ninpo and Tanpo. Ninpo is infiltration, right? And Tanpo is evasion. When you're infiltrating, the two techniques that I want to go over is Inyo no Jutsu and Inyo no Ho. This Inyo no Jutsu are techniques that you do, that you physically do to take advantage of exact opposites, okay? So that would be like, if I put a bunch of, put a shinobi team at the front of the castle and they started throwing bombs. Everyone runs to the front of the castle. Meanwhile, you're sneaking in the back door. And so that would be an example of Inyo no Jutsu. Now, Inyo no Ho is taking advantage of natural phenomena. So that would be like literally using light and dark. Like if I'm in the shadows and I jump out of the shadows that was already there set by nature, and then take somebody out and bring them in. If I'm taking advantage of something within the elements, that's Inyo no Ho. If it's something that I've created totally myself, it's in a technique that I've devised, it's not given to me from the gods, it's Inyo no Jutsu. You guys have done Kitsune Gakure, Uzuru Gakure, Tanuki Gakure, Kana Gakure. You guys have done these a lot in all of our events. Uki Gusi Gakure is where it's called floating weed, right? That's where you're in the water and you put like a lily pad or weeds and you put them on top of your head. That way when you swim, it looks like it's a lily pad floating through the water, or grass, or something like that, okay? Another one that I think is the most common is called Shiba Gakure. It's not natural hiding. It means like if there was a pile of wood and you hid behind the pile of wood and waited for someone to come by, that'd be Shiba Gakure. Or like if there was like Friday's trash day, and you hid behind the trash cans before you stuck someone when they walked by, that would be Shiba Gakure. You're taking advantage of piles of things that are man-made. I know everyone wants to talk about how the ninja is not an assassin. They don't take orders to assassinate. You know what I mean? That's not what they do. They're just information gatherers. Here in the Bansen Shikai says, one of the secret techniques of Shinobi no Jutsu is the art of killing the enemy lord. It doesn't have to be written 100 times to make it a ninja skill. I mean, how many other ways can we say that? You have the order to carry out a mission to take out the enemy leader, to assassinate the enemy leader, to kill the enemy leader. I mean, how many different ways do we say that to understand, okay, he's an assassin? If you go in, if you read the Bansen Shikai and you read it from the perspective as they are assassins, that whole book looks completely different. It looks completely different. But if you look at it like, well, they're just a bunch of spies. They don't ever hurt anybody. They're not trained in martial arts. They don't do martial arts. They don't hurt, all they do is get information and then they run and tattle to their daimyo, their lord, about what's going on. Then the Bansen Shikai looks completely different. But if you go in with it and you think of it like this, the ninja was samurai. They were trained in the arts of war. They were a spy and they were a samurai assassin. And all the stuff in the Bansen Shikai is the skills they needed to carry that out. But let me tell you this. If I take this camera, okay, and this camera, we're going to say, it's the camera. And I just put this camera down. And all of us circle around this camera and look at the camera. We all describe the camera. We all explain what we see. All of us will have a different definition of what we see, because all of us are looking at a completely different angle and a completely different dynamic or a vision of what we're looking at. So if you read the Bansen Shikai as, well, they're just spies. They don't train in martial arts. They're not assassins. They're just tattletales. That book is completely different than if you read that book and say, this is the book of the ninja. They're samurai assassins. They're trained in the arts of war. I can guarantee you, the person that wrote that book, without a doubt, wasn't doing it because he was trying to tell the next generation how to tattletale on another family. The person that wrote that book was saving that information so the next generation, in case they needed it, could kill the bastards that were trying to hurt their family. That I guarantee. To end our very first day of the Shinobi no Mura Stealth Camp, right now we're working on sword skills. And it's written in many Ninjutsu Densho that one of the things the Shinobi was hired to do was night raids. So to execute a night raid, you need to have sword skills.
And so right now we're doing sword skills and sword training at night. And that's something that we do every Taikai. It doesn't matter whether it's Tomoru, Shinobi Keiko, Budo Ryu Daikomyosai, Stealth Camp. As soon as it hits 11 o'clock to midnight, we're working on sword fighting and sword skills.